How's it going, everybody? Rob right here today, and we are back with our Los Angeles Angels franchise mode, our co-op franchise mode, and I am joined by my assistant GM, where we are doing much better than the real-life Angels, although we haven't made too many moves. I guess we just bring in good vibes.
Good vibes, indeed. Hey, everyone, it's Abby, also known as Thatcher Demko. The great season last year, and speaking of moves, now is the time to make them a free agency. We got cap space galore, and a lot of people who are going to want to join the successful LA Angels brigade.
Yes, and the crazy part is we made it the World Series with 93 projected yearly. Like our owner's like in heaven right now. He's never been happier. Straight up, like 90. He's like, here's the budget. We're like, okay, how about we spend 50% of that and make it to Game 7 of the World Series? How's that sound?
I think that sounds great. Sounds like a lot of playoff revenue.
Seriously. All right. So, interestingly enough, to sorting by overall, some of our top players: Clase, Rogers, Crochet. Trade his ass. No, I'm just kidding. He screwed up once. Not gonna trade his ass just because he screwed up once, but he screws up again. He's dead to me. But these guys are all arbitration eligible, and then Noah Syndergaard is the first notable free agent.
Yeah, Syndergaard is an interesting one. He is starting to get up there in age, so I'd be interested to see how long of a deal he wants. Perhaps he comes back on a 1-year deal, or perhaps we let him walk.
He had 24 quality starts and 33 starts.
Yeah, that's very good. Very, very good.
So we can advance a day where we have to be reminded that Scherzer... Wow, that's the... Clase took the... So our manager, pitching coach, and third base coach contracts have ended. We will need to re-sign them. Okay. The offseason, you have 5 days to negotiate contracts with any players who do not have contracts. After this time, those players eligible, Qualifying offer is 1 year, 18.7, which actually might come into play now that we're a big market team for like the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
View retired players. Rich Hill, I know that name. Let's see. Anybody else? Interesting. Doesn't look like it. Age Kurt Suzuki. Yeah, he retired after we shipped them off in a season where we ended up going to the World Series, unfortunately. Adam
Wilson
Wainwright.
Ramos, that's another. Oh yeah, I was gonna say above him, Wilson Ramos, another veteran catcher.
Yep, a couple guys there retiring. All right, and then Rene Rivera retired because of age as well. So. Those are the retirees. Nobody was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Yes, that's fine. Oh, this is the last chance you have to see them. There was nobody there, so thank you. We have exclusive free agent negotiations with Syndergaard, Lorenzen, Duffy, Romine, Bradley. So interestingly, I think I don't know. Let's take a look at our catchers. That's just the first one to catch my eye. Romine can probably go unless he wants a minor league deal.
I totally agree.
I wasn't sure if he was our backup catcher or not, but since he's not, I'm a little less worried. Let's rebrand. Let's look at our managers. Who was our manager last season?
I don't remember. It might have been Joe Madden, but I don't think he was costing us that much.
I don't think he was, but 2022 team statistics, 108 win record. I mean, that's us. Straight up, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that was us last season.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to bring him back, or do we want to go... guy like James Harmon?
So something I like to take into account with my coaches is age.
I'm sorry. Just to point out, that is our statistics in the bottom left. So AJ Hinch, same statistics down there. So, but continue.
Yeah, I like to look for just cracked my jaw. I like to look for a coach with either no reds or their reds being in either bunting or drag bunting.
Agreed.
So someone like this is great as well. And preferably if they can be in their mid-30s or mid-40s, I like to lock them up for like 10 years just because then you don't have to worry about finding someone or your coach running off on you.
I think 5 years is fine for this 43-year-old. We don't even know if he's going to be good.
That's true, but so looking at his stats here, we have +2 reaction, which is great for fielding, +1 speed, which doesn't hurt, +3 plate discipline, which is excellent, and +1 Ks per 9, which doesn't hurt either. So this is someone I wouldn't mind locking up 5 to 6 years.
I'm gonna offer him the 5 years. We might have to make him a little bit higher money offer. Like,
I'd say go up to 24.
I was gonna go up to, yeah, and that should be good enough. Other guys like out there, there's really nobody in their 40s that he's the best guy in their 40s. Christopher Hutchinson -2 blocking wouldn't be bad, but is a B. I think like Vincent Peters fits the criteria you were talking about. Paco Figueroa, who's 36, but durability blocking, it's just not worth it really. Plate vision Ks per 9, cool, but I'd rather have Sam Trudersheim.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, let's take a look at our pitching coaches. We prefer no minuses here. Christopher Hutchinson, definitely 39 velocity, Ks, walks. I mean, yeah, like probably a guy I would like to lock up for that same 5-year window as the manager. What do you think?
That sounds good to me. I'd like to look around a little bit more as well to see if there's anyone with better bonuses, because right now we have just the +1 and the +2, but it doesn't look like there's anyone with particularly amazing stat line that jumps out at me.
I think for now we're gonna have to be stuck with our guy there. I mean,
yeah, that looks good to me.
That Christopher Hutchinson here. I think 5 years again. Give him $6 million there for 5 years. He's loving that deal.
Yep.
Next up is the third base coach. Probably want somebody, the arm accuracy. Definitely don't want to decrease that.
Paul Sanchez isn't bad for like a short-term deal.
Speed, fielding, and reaction. I agree. Let's see. Just keep looking a little bit. Arm strength, no. No. That's not bad from Christopher Smith, but I think Paul Sanchez, speed, reaction, and fielding, like -3 blocking. I trust it's not going to get back to bite us in the long run, really, right? How many pass balls do you are going to hurt you per season, right?
And I also think that if you look at the pluses for him, one of them was durability by +1 and one of them was bunting. Those are basically useless stats. For a +1, they mean almost nothing. So I'd rather go with Sanchez here as well.
Agreed. Yeah, +2 speed is great, and then +3 fielding is phenomenal. So there we go. I think we've submitted all of the offers that we really need for our coaches. Don't know if we need to really -3 arm strength for the farm director.
Ooh.
-1 blocking, -1 fielding, but +1 speed and arm strength. We'll be fine with Don Carmichael, but the question is, I don't know if I like Ronan Villalobos.
I'm okay firing him. We have the money right now.
Cool. Let's find a farm director for hire. Some of these are top managers too, so we'd have to pay quite a bit of money to get some of these guys. But a guy like Daryl Poston, Daryl Boston,
like the bunting and blocking, but the first two stats are nice.
Hey, I recently in my athletics video used bunting way more, and it was very impactful. Oh, Vincent Peters here. Why don't we go to him?
Oh, that's spectacular. Yes, absolutely.
There's also Paco Figueroa too.
No, he had the minus bunting, which means you have the +3 clutch. That +3 clutch is really nice. I wouldn't mind signing him for 5 years.
All right, 5 years at $5 million, $1 million a season. He's gonna, yeah, I think that should get him. We'll keep an eye on it.
Hopefully.
But now we can go ahead and go to our free agent negotiations. And the guy that we are all under, oh my, what? Sorry, I'm just looking at our available budget.
It's bigger. Oh my God, that's like bigger than a lot of teams' budgets.
Seriously, like I'm pretty sure Oakland or like Baltimore or Pittsburgh don't have that size budget, period, let alone available. And Syndergaard wants 12.6. I'd do it.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I
mean,
would too.
3 years, we'll front load it because we got all that space now.
It's fine with me.
He loves it. Michael Lorenzen, the 31-year-old from Cali. He started 32 games for us, had 15 quality starts, sub-4 ERA. WHIP was a little higher than I'd like. His FIP was 4.57, meaning that sub-4 ERA is just straight up lucky. He got really good fielding behind him. He'd be a guy I'm okay letting walk.
I'd want to see how much he wants. Can you go to 1 year?
6.7 for 1 year. I mean, and then we'd probably have to pay a little bit more.
So there's a couple options. We can pick him up now and trade him during spring training.
I mean, that's true, but I'd rather not sign a guy and trade him right away. Like, sign a guy with the intent to trade feels a little cheesy to me. We still have Nicholas Tejada here as a guy we could call in the rotation. Griffin Canning could step into the rotation, and then we could use the money on somebody else that's not Michael Lorenzen.
Yeah, we could look for a new pitcher, because ideally, I'd like Shohei to stay the number 1 pitcher, and then we can have Syndergaard as a 3.
Yeah, I agree. Ideally. I agree. Sandoval is the 4, and then Canning or Tejada as the 5. I'd feel really good about it.
I agree.
All right, so that's that on Lorenzen. Sorry. Matt Duffy's fine. 76 overall. Looking at... Listen, I know money's not really an issue for us, but at 32, providing really nothing but contact against righties, and I mean, he was okay. I mean, he did bat 318. Let's be fair to him.
He's a bench piece. It's just a matter of how much you want to spend on said bench piece. He does play 4 positions.
4.4 WAR. Great contact. He's not a great fielder though.
His arm accuracy is high though, so he could play first or he could play second.
Well, I mean, he doesn't need an arm at first. He just needs to catch, and that fielding is not exciting me in that scenario. So he's a guy that, listen, he had 4.4 WAR, but is that more of a mirage? Did he just have a ridiculous season?
He does have very good batting stats, right? If you look at not just his contact, but his vision, discipline, clutch, those are all decent. So it's a matter of if we want to have a DH with more power or more of a clutch DH.
I really...
We can come back to him.
Yeah, I don't know where to go here. I mean, listen, we have the budget, but I'm not just going to throw out $6 million contracts like they're nothing. Absolutely. Yes, I know. He only wants $5 million for 1 year, but still, right? Like
he's not going to accept that for 5 years, right? Because usually they're pretty anal. Actually, no, this is free agency, so never mind. Sometimes they will take it.
Yeah, so like this is an offer. I'd be willing to give him the 1 year 5.1, give us some time to maybe figure it out. But where is he going to slot in, right? We're going to have our 2 catchers, Stassi and Pena. Pena's still got what? Yeah, Pena's going into the last year of his deal. Stassi had a great year. He surprised everybody, I think, with his performances. 3.6 WAR. First baseman Jared Walsh, I think we're happy with that. Torkelson as well, coming up eventually. Samuel Reyes as well. So first base is fine. We got there is Duffy, but we got Jorbit Vivas, the young guy here, who I'd like to give the opportunity to start. The fielding's there. The bat's not phenomenal, but it's at least well-rounded.
Yeah, I'm a very slow developer, so I'd almost want a stopgap there.
True.
But I don't necessarily think it has to be Duffy. I think Duffy feels more of a DH role anyways. So right now, as far as I see it, I see Duffy as can you go back to second base, please? Yep. Duffy as the current DH/bench tool. I see Vivas as the AAA second baseman. And then I see Michael Bush as the AA second baseman. That's how I see our depth chart at the moment. Freddie Bradshaw is just a fill-in guy for the minors who can make sure Vivas gets his rest days. But as far as I see it right now, we don't have a second baseman.
I can agree. And I think if I'm going to look for a DH, I want a guy who's better at batting than this. If I'm looking for a DH, I'm looking for a guy who can't field, can't run, but can hit, So power of 45, 32, it's not really what I'm looking for. He was great. And I think 5.1 million for one more year until Vivas is truly ready to take over, or maybe somebody's in free agency. But I think we signed Duffy. And then looking here, Luis Urias could play second or could be our DH. And obviously we have Chapman playing third. So I think there's our answer, right? Urias is starting. He's a major leaguer at this point.
I agree. I think Urias can take that step into second base, and I'd be more comfortable with him in there over our second base option.
Duffy,
over,
right?
Vivas, yes.
Vivas or Duffy. At shortstop is probably an area I'd like to improve. David Fletcher. I don't like his contract. I don't dislike him. Don't get me wrong. He just feels like a very one-dimensional player to me. No arm. Good, really, really good fielder. Great, just on-base guy against lefties. But it just feels like there's so much to be desired here. Good WAR, right? Everybody on the team had a good WAR, though. It feels like at that point. And we got Bruno Castaneda coming up. And I don't know. I feel like we could move him. A team would want him. And I think we can look to upgrade at this shortstop position. Heck, even playing a guy like Urias there, who's, okay, yeah, his arm's not great, so maybe not. But you know my point.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the shortstop is a position where there's tons of great shortstops out there that would be available in the trade market or free agency. So I agree. I think David Fletcher is a decent piece on a contract that's not ideal, but still has a value as a player and can be used as 1 out of 3 pieces to go get a better shortstop.
Agreed. And then the outfield really needs to be improved upon. Brandon Marsh is renewable. Not worth it in my mind. Straight up, not we're batted 231. OPS, sure, 700. WAR 1.5, whatever. 24% strikeout percentage. Really bad bat. Not impressive fielder. Not even a guy that I want to have on the bench to platoon. I do not want to renew his contract. I know he's got B potential and he's growing, but he's just not somebody that I mean, he does have the B potential at 25. Maybe I'm overly harsh.
I'll say if he wants a minor league contract, or if he wants like $700K, I'd certainly have him back for the AAA. But he should not be playing in the MLB next year under any circumstances.
Yeah, I agree. And obviously we have Trout. Probably need a backup outfielder out here. And then in right field, goodbye, Michael Conforto. You won't be missed. We're going to move on from him. Listen, he's got enough promise on $6 million that I believe somebody would take him, right? He hit 14 home runs, 50 RBIs for us, and 400 at-bats. He wasn't anything spectacular. I don't expect to get anything back spectacular, but again, like we said, definitely upgradable. Taylor Ward, Zach Veen, we'll see where they go. We need 2-3 outfielders at least this offseason.
Yeah, I agree. We need at least 2 starters, and we need a backup.
It's really weak here. I mean, Brandon Marsh could be the backup. Pedro Caraballo could be the backup. Not excited about those options. Seth Smith, I'd like to keep him growing as he's doing very well. I mean, look at the growth in contact. I mean, can't bunt, but that's what coaches are for. Great speed.
I think we'll live.
Yeah, we'll be okay. But let's go ahead, and I think we do bring back Matt Duffy on the 1-year deal. He wants to be a platoon guy anyway. Listen, 1 year, 2-year deal. What do you think? 1 or 2 years? That's where I'm at.
I think we could do 2 years with a team option.
Team option, club option, both?
Yes.
So we're looking at
not both.
9.8. We'll go 9.9 there. That's fine. 2 years, 9.9. Club option is going to be platooned. Payout structure normal. I'm not going to front load this one like we did Syndergaard. And I think that's about it for the exclusive free agent. Austin Romine wants way too much money. No, thank you.
Bye. Adios. Have a nice
Archie
day.
Bradley, again, too much money. Oliver Perez, no thank you. He's 41. He's done.
Yes. He's got to take a break.
We're letting Lorenzen walk as well. So we are pretty much ready to go here. We'll advance a Hutch. Yes, there we go. Our pitching coach has accepted. Paul Sanchez accepted the Rockies offer as first. That's the manager. What? Isn't that the guy we were? Oh, no. We were looking at him for third base coach. Whew, I was like, there's no way we just got our manager snaked as a first base coach.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to be pissed.
Do we want to go for competition guys like Nico Yee, -3 blocking,
no,
but
B. We want A.
All right. Durability, blocking, speed, Christopher Smith.
We can see if there's anyone else.
Dale
Here
Perkins.
He's 37 years old. That's beautiful.
Should I offer
a little bit more?
Yeah, I was gonna say. There we go. That should get it done.
There we go.
All right, we'll advance Dale Perkins accepted that offer, which is beautiful. Review staff. Let's see our offers. Nobody else is really offering these guys. It's just going to take them a second to accept. Exclusive free agent negotiations. Nobody's accepted yet, so that's interesting. Today's the last day, which we like to stop simulating. Yes. Nobody's accepted yet. I don't think we really want to give a qualifying offer anyway. We're offering a contract.
No. Yeah, we're getting much better deals. Duffy, certainly not. But Syndergaard is the one we could think about. But I like our deal with Syndergaard, and he wants to accept it, so I don't think we're worried.
All right, so here we go. We are in free agency, and do we make us... Well, he's got a qualifying offer made, right? Mm-hmm. Go after a guy like Joey Gallo.
Yeah, no, Joey Gallo pisses me off with his low contact, so...
he does hit 30-some home runs, though.
He does.
But he strikes out a ton. Anyway, let's focus on our own. Starting with the 40-man roster. There are guys eligible. Is there an eligibility option? Either way. What does PS eligible stand for? Do you have any idea?
I don't know. I'm hoping it's Rule 5 draft. That'd be nice if it told us that, but...
Yeah, Adley Rutschman... He is eligible for the Rule 5 draft and is not on our 40-man, so we will add him to the 40-man.
So it should, if you go back to the main menu, it might show us who we can lose in the 40-man. I don't know if it shows it yet. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this shows us all the potential prospects we could lose. So H. Brown, sorry, from the relief pitcher, someone we definitely want to protect, and then M. Harrison from center fielder.
Okay, they're just those two guys to add. And then we should be okay. The 24-year-old Hunter Brown, 62. Add him to the 40-man. And then the center fielder, Monte Harrison, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Monte Harrison, that's right.
He is eligible for the Rule 5 draft. Add him to the 40-man. And that still leaves us 2 free spots in case somebody decides to sign. We have salary arbitration with guys like Rogers, Sandoval, Victor Arano. Is he worth coming back? Griffin Canning, the Cy Young winner. We can offer him a contract. And then we actually don't have that many players that are arbitration eligible, which is nice. So let's start with Rogers. He wants 3 years at 2.4 a year.
I'm totally fine with that. We should adjust his role so he doesn't get upset.
Bullpen. Yeah. We'll give him 7.5 for 3 years. That is officially 2.5 a year. Oh, well.
Yep, that's cool.
Front load it? Nah, doesn't matter, right?
Front or normal, I don't care.
I'll do normal. It's small enough. Patrick Sandoval here. Pitched 32 games, went 10-6. 3.35 ERA, really good. 18 quality starts in that 32 games started. How was his FIP? Wow, so really elite FIP. Fielding independent pitching, basically, if you don't know, basically measures how good it's like an ERA. Not counting fielding, right? So if it's the FIP is lower than the ERA like it is, he pitched better than what his ERA suggests. And if the FIP would be like 4 in this instance, we'll say he got lucky with good fielding. So in this instance, he was an elite left-handed pitcher, 26-year-old from California, 4 more years left of arbitration. He wants 4 years at 4.8 a year. Sign me up.
That's cool with me. I think that's a great contract because it keeps him cheap for now. And then if we get better pitchers through the draft or free agency in year 2 or 3, we can ship them off for a good haul.
All right, I'm just trying
20 by 4 is fine, I think. Or even, 19 by 4.
Yeah, there we go. 19 by 4, rotation, front load that, make that easier on us in the future.
Boom.
Beautiful. All right, Victor Arano is now in. This is an interesting one, right? Because he's got D potential, but he is a 78.
He's a risky one because you don't want to sign him long term because he could drop.
He's arbitration eligible. What would we'd offer him $700,000 in arbitration. He wants like $2 million for. I'd rather offer him arbitration of $700,000.
I think we can even up it to $900K, so it's more likely to be accepted by an arbitrator. But $900K, I'll have him back, no problem.
All right. Griffin Canning, I'd like to bring him back personally.
Oh man, he wants to get paid like a Cy Young man as well.
15 years, 35 million. You got it.
You know what? Do we want to sign him to 15 years and front load it? I'm just kidding.
I don't mind 2 years at 2.2 a year, though.
Nope, that's great. And then we can see if he grows or not and make a decision based on that.
Right, and that would he'd still be arbitration eligible at the very end of it. Perfect. He wants to be depth. He's going to be our ace. No, he'll be depth. We won't even bother loading it. Offer that to him. Mike Mayers. 46 innings pitched, 3.33 ERA, 1.0 whip. Decent. But his FIP was 4.3. He had less than 9. I mean, just about 9, let's be honest. But he gave up quite a few home runs. I feel like we could do better. He's improving.
His stats are very well rounded.
What money does he want? 2.9 for 1 year?
What's his arbitration?
Oh, right. Offer arbitration. 2.15. So we're not saving much money there for a 76 overall.
I think we can circle back if he wants.
All right. And I feel like the rest of these guys, we'll go ahead and cut this part out of the episode for you guys. And Abby and I will just go through and, kind of talk about the arbitration eligible and maybe tender contracts for the lower rated guys, and then come back when we start talking about these top guys again. So we have sat down and discussed, offered some salary arbitrations here and there to some of these other guys down here. We really didn't feel like they deserved it. Tendering contracts, we went through, and everybody that deserves a contract, that we felt deserved a contract, well, we offered them one. And now it is time to talk about some of the big names. And let's start with the closer that we acquired, Emmanuel Clase. He wants...
This is my favorite closer in all of MLB The Show. So I like
4 years?
4 or 5 year deal here. Yeah. 4 years looks good to me.
3.6 million per year to be our closer, who's going to be an absolute stud, right? I'll even give him like 4 million a season. I'm fine with that.
That's totally cool.
All right, so that's done there. There's 4 million a season. Now we're up to 39, almost 40 million in pending offers, meaning we have about 100 million left. Oh boy, really getting tight. But then Crochet wants, I think, same 4x4 for Crochet.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little tougher though, because we're gonna have to give him the role of bullpen.
Good point. We may have to pay him more, unless he just loves being here. And
I think 17 mil.
Yeah, 4 years, 17 mil should probably get it across the line as the bullpen role. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty high interest for both of these guys. I value Clase higher than I do Crochet, but Crochet has to be paid more because he wouldn't be as happy. But then we've got Luis Urias, who we've decided is probably going to be our second baseman next season. He's a good fielder, doesn't exactly need a great arm to play second baseman. I just kind of want a good fielder, good reaction, good fielding. Probably don't want him as short, but second base sounds good to me for this guy. What does he want? Again, we could give him 4 years, only 2.6. I'd almost do 5 years.
I like 4 because we keep him under arbitration, right?
Yes, because this is renewable ARB, right? Or would he be a free agent at the expiration of this deal? 23 is the upcoming season, right? So if we sign him to a 3-year deal, he'll be arbitration eligible after the deal.
Yeah, let's do 3 years. That sounds fine.
3 years, 6 million for an everyday guy.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal to me.
All right, beautiful. And then Adley Rutschman, the prospect catcher, is renewable, so I mean it doesn't really matter. I'll give him 80K because he deserves it. He's a good guy. He deserves it. That was not bad. Hoyt, what?
Sorry, I was gonna say I'm looking forward to Adley's progression in AAA next year to see if he can get himself up to the mid 80s, hopefully, so we can play him the year after.
I agree. Hoyt Taylor now. 28-year-old B potential closing pitcher, 77 overall is pretty good, but I feel like I'd want to do the 3 years, 70K because it'll be 31.
It's very tempting to go the 5 years just because you can keep him low and cost controlled, and he's good enough to play in the MLB right now. But 3 years is just at 70K. It's just such an incredible deal. I don't think we can turn it away.
Right, and he only wants to be a depth player, so if we send him down, we send him down.
Yes, absolutely.
Jorbit Vivas is a guy we discussed potentially playing in the majors. Is probably not going to. He's definitely going to be in the minors. We can probably give him a 4 or 5 by 5.
Yes, 5 by 5.
Or was it 4 million? 4 years at like 500,000 a year. It was 2 million over 4 years, I think, is what we had discussed. Because over that 4 years, he would still be arbitration eligible. I guess the 5th year, the same thing happens, but we just have to pay a lot more.
It's just, it's more likely to save us money in the future and we pay now kind of thing. So it's more about how much you believe in Jordan Vivas' development. If you don't think he's going to develop well, then I think we go with the 4-year option. If you believe in Jordan Vivas, then I think 5 years is good. But looking at his B potential, actually, I don't mind going 4 years just in case that is a low B potential. I think that's fine.
Yeah, it saves us quite a bit of money too. 4 years, 2 million. I mean, okay, quite a bit. We're talking 700,000 on the budget, right? But he is developing incredibly well. And definitely, I think if he continues on that path, I'm very excited, right? Because you can just kind of tell when players just grow massively, you're like, okay, this guy is gonna hit his potential. It just kind of happens, you know?
Yeah, I hope his potential is in the high 80s, so he can be a starting level player for us. But you never know with these guys.
Next up is Spencer Torkelson, who might get the same treatment as the previous couple guys. The 5 years, give him, 5 years, 9 million at 1.8 per year. I mean, 6 years even for Torkelson could be a bargain when he's 29.
I think that might take him out of his arbitration, though, right? So I think 5 years might be safer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
So 5 years.
5 years, 9 million. Or 5 years, 8.5.
Sure, 8.5 works for me.
He wants to platoon, but I think he's going to platoon for now. He will very soon be coming up and playing a lot of time. But Brandon Marsh now, do we bring him back? You may renew his contract at any price greater than 80% of his salary from last season. Oh, okay. So since he's renewable, we can just give him 2 years, 700,000.
The question is, do we want to?
I mean, 700,000 for this guy, he's definitely got enough value that I think somebody would want him to. And I definitely think if he does start to climb closer to that beat potential and is a late bloomer, it's worth it to have him on 700,000 for 2 seasons. Season and a half, really. See where he is at next year's trade deadline, not this coming trade deadline, but next year's, and then potentially move on from him.
I guess, yeah, we can do that.
It's 700,000. And there we go. We have spent 48.6 in pending offers of our 143, giving us about 90 million, I'd say, left to spend. And that, well, will change because we would like to move on from shortstop David Fletcher, who's got 3 more years left on this deal that I just think, I know he's an 82. He plays everywhere. I just don't. His arm is terrible. I just don't think this guy's worth the contract he's making. He's 28. I don't know. I just don't like the way this guy looks on paper.
He's as Ryan put, he's a bit of a one-trick pony. If you look at him, his arm is actually very poor, making him a bad third baseman or shortstop. He'd effectively be a good second baseman, which could be an answer to our solutions. But I think we prefer to go with the guns of youth at that position. He also has absolutely no power whatsoever.
No power, no discipline, good vision, but good clutch, right? Like a guy that's growing, a guy that I think we could legitimately get a good prospect for, right? And shed about 5 million in that salary. And we have Luis Urias, who we plan on playing at second base, who I think is going to provide more at the plate. And he's not that much of a fall off. There, we will have to find ourselves a shortstop, but question is, what teams are interested? So the Yankees are interested, and they want to give us Josh Donaldson. Maybe Yankees. The Tampa Bay Rays are interested. The White Sox are interested. The Braves, the Mets, the Phillies, the Brewers. They want to give us Yelich. No, thank you. I'm not taking on that money. Thank you very much. The Cardinals, interesting there. That one is probably just flipping through quickly. Actually, this is not a Nick Ahmed and Marty Clarkson from the Diamondbacks. That's kind of interesting. I'd like to see how Nick Ahmed is. We don't actually. Nick Ahmed might be overpaid, which is why he's coming back in this trade. Hosmer, I know is overpaid. This is 2 prospects here, though. Just kind of just seeing, I guess. Let's take a look at the Yankees. They are the team that, popped up first. We'll take a look at who's under contract, because this is part of the problem, right? Nobody's under contract, so we might need to wait until like spring training, or at least we get majority of the way through free agency. And I think that's when we would move David Fletcher, because we're not in a cap crunch or a budget crunch right now.
I agree. There's no need to move on from right now. I think the idea when making a trade during this time is kind of storing your value, is how I like to word it. So if you have someone who you can't afford to hang on to, or let's say if your team is so stacked that you have too many people for the Rule 5 draft and you just need to stash that value somewhere, you just try to make the most even trade you can, and then from there you can work it out. But I don't see any trades there that I would like to make or that I think are fair value for David Fletcher.
Agreed. So let's go ahead and go to free agency, where we have devised ourselves a bit of a plan.
Oh, yeah.
So we had mentioned that we need starting outfielders, like really, really need starting outfielders. And we're still debating on this a bit, whether or not Michael Conforto, we should move on from him or keep him. I kind of want to keep him because 1 in the hand's better than 2 in the bush. And, money wise, blah, blah, blah. He's only making $6 million, right? It's nothing too bad. Obviously, Trout's, I'm not even going to mention it. He's Trout. We need a starting left fielder, and we need probably what I'd consider 2 backup outfielders. And again, a guy like Ward here, who's not under contract, I'm not planning on giving him another contract. But a guy like Brandon Marsh, we'll give a contract to. But we need a starting left fielder. We need a starting right fielder. And then it's either Conforto or somebody in free agency for this for the platoon outfielder, right? Maybe one more guy too. We'll see where everybody shakes out. But there's a couple guys out there that perked Abby and I's interest.
Yeah, so to start off, Aaron Judge. I think he perked most people's interest looking at him. He is right in the prime of his career at 30 years old. Excellent power hitter, decent contact, good fielder, not the fastest guy, and much to Rye's chagrin, not the best bunter. But
I'll allow it.
You look at him. He is an absolutely excellent position player, and even you can see he's dropping right now. I don't think that will continue, but even if it does, a 90 overall right fielder will be a absolutely massive improvement from Michael Conforto, and I don't think he's going to be hitting sub 200 in the playoffs.
Agreed. I mean, come on. You're giving Aaron Judge a very low bar to hurdle if you're like, is he bound to be better than Conforto? I mean, I could sign Naquin and we'd say he's going to be better than Conforto. But I'm in the same boat here that I think Aaron Judge from Cali, we've got that Cali advantage. Yes, we have to give up our first round pick, but we just went to the World Series. It's going to be a very late first round pick, and it's not really going to make too much of a difference considering we already have some interesting prospects. I mean, look you got Adley Rutschman, you got Nicholas Tejada, you got Spencer Torkelson. All 3 of those guys are top prospects. Michael Busch, Leandro Esposito, right? Like, there's so many top prospects here that giving up a first round pick now, where we were 1 inning really away from winning the World Series, if the consolation prize is going to get Judge, I'm going to do it. I'm straight up doing it. 5 years, $126 million. I mean, we could even backload this or just normal load it so that we have a bit more to work with now. And I think that might be where I want to go. Actually, if we front load his contract, that's a decrease of $7 million to start. But think about what it's going to be in a couple years. Although, are we planning on keeping a hold of him for that amount of time if he starts to drop off? That's the real question.
Yeah, I actually don't mind backloading this, because even on a backloaded salary, he'll be a very tradable contract, and we don't have to bear the brunt of that high cap hit, and we can try and trade him for a younger, better right fielder in 4 years.
Yeah, I think you're right. 5-year deal. It's really not that bad. By then, who knows what the team will look like. So we'll go ahead and offer him a backloaded 5-year, $126 million deal and be far and away his favorite offer. But that's not where the outfield offers stop, because we're going to reunite the Yankees. No, I'm kidding. We're not reuniting Yankee outfields. I kind of like to, because considering the power's there, but it's just everything else, like the control, God damn it, contact and vision is just so bad that the fielding is, I mean, he's a good player, but he's one that Abby and I just disagree on too much for us to go after him. But there's another guy here that we agree on quite a bit. Andrew Benintendi fits what we want to do, fits the age, bats lefty, can play anywhere in the outfield, serviceable fielder, decent power, good contact, great clutch, vision. I mean, it just checks enough boxes of just quality that we would be more than willing to offer him the $10 million he wants for 3 years.
How many years is he? What's his value for a couple more?
He wants $5 million. It really doesn't change much.
Yeah, honestly, I'm okay locking him for 5 because, again, he'll start dropping around 32, 33, and that's a good time to ship him off. So I think we're also lining up these contracts to where we can have another big free agency just a couple years down the road.
I'll give him star because we may even bat him closer to the top of the order too, just based on how everyone's doing. So I'll give him star.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means to him, but if he was going to be a star in Los Angeles, you can be a star anywhere. So there we go. We absolutely blow out of the water Kansas City's offer. Like, holy smokes. Kansas City can't even come close to us, and this is where it feels good to be in charge of a large market team.
Oh, yeah. It's nice not to have that stuffy budget where this is the only person you can go after. You have to wait and see if he's going to pick you. We can go after both Benintendi and Judge and go after more people.
And more people we shall. One thing that, we talked about, Brandon Nimmo, but another guy that we liked was Chad Pinder. I wouldn't mind Conforto and Pinder both being our backup outfielders for this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's just somewhere where Ryan and I totally disagreed. I was very much in the Brandon Nimmo train, and then I saw the money he wanted. He wanted close to $9 million, I believe, for a 2-year deal, which is not what I want to spend on a platoon player. So he priced himself out of Los Angeles. So Chad Pinder, I think, is a good consolation prize. He's a good fielder. He's solid enough batting stats to where he's not hurting us when he's coming in on occasion. And I'd be comfortable sending him in as a defensive substitution in the playoffs if absolutely necessary.
I mean, he can play anywhere in the outfield, anywhere in the infield not named first, right? Like, he can just about do it all.
Yeah, that kind of utility is just so nice for ensuring you save the stamina of your players throughout the season.
And on a 1-year, $4 million deal, 4.2, I'll take that any day. We can reassess this outfield situation if some of our prospects grow or if there's, more options next season. And we don't really have to worry too much about the money. Look at that, 4.2 million. We still have about 50 million in available budget, and we can go after another starting pitcher.
Yeah, looking through the starting pitcher list, there's quite a few great pitchers. Aaron Nola's there, Clayton Kershaw, Joe Musgrove. You got the works, but someone who I think has absolutely wonderfully balanced stats is Luis Severino. If you look at his stats, what this is nice for is training. So you look at the hits over 9, Ks over 9, walks over 9, home runs over 9. They're all very, very balanced. So when you're training a stat, nothing gets wasted. Whereas, like, if he had, say, 99 Ks over 9, but 59 hits over 9, you still need to train it, but part of that training is going to waste. With Severino, there's efficiency. And Severino still has A potential, which means he can grow and really be that number 2 pitcher behind Ohtani, but ahead of Syndergaard. Putting Syndergaard in the 3 where I'm most comfortable with him, and I think Ryan would prefer it that, meaning Sandoval becomes our 4, and then right now I believe it's Griffin Canning, but whoever can be our 5 at that point.
Yeah, I'm wholly on board with that because Syndergaard, I believe, is heading in the opposite direction of Severino. They may be similar in age, but it seems like Syndergaard is starting to regress just a little bit, whereas Severino here you can see is just continuing to ascend because of the A potential, right? It's the A potential versus a B potential. At 29, Severino is continuing to ascend. We'll tell him he's going to be in the rotation, but we'll give him, an $95 million to make up for it.
Yep, that looks good. We might need to adjust that if it becomes a bidding war, but hopefully that's enough to get it done.
All right, there we go. And we still have 35 million just about in available budget, which means we can go after some of these guys like Paxton or bring back Lorenzen, Carrasco, Zach Eflin, but he has got an offer, right? Danny Duffy, right? But like at this point, I'd rather have Canning.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go after a Manea? Do we want to go after a Sonny Gray, right? Like those are the questions we can answer soon. We can see Syndergaard here. He is regressing. He's only 1 year older, but it's that B potential. So there we go. Those are the free agent offers. We've already signed Ohtani, as you guys remember, to that massive extension that was backloaded. So you guys can see for a while now, Ohtani is ridiculously affordable. Jared Walsh, we did extend for 2.2, looking really good. And then some of these other guys doesn't really matter. But as you guys can see, we've offered Aaron Judge, Andrew Benintendi, Luis Severino, Noah Syndergaard, Matt Duffy, and Chad Pinder. So we're not just going after all the top of the list guys. We are going after some of the guys that we think can be bargains off the bench. So let's hope we get them all. And then maybe we can go after a shortstop.
Yeah, I was going to say, just going back to the Ohtani contract, that deal I think will be good for the next 10 years at least. By then, Ohtani might start regressing a little bit, but keeping Ohtani under 26 mil is just an absolute steal.
And we had already we forgot about this, actually. We talked about this. We both agreed so quickly. It kind of slipped our minds just now, but we want to go after Tim Anderson. We want to give him the 3 years, 10.2 that he wants to be our everyday shortstop.
What was his 5-year cost?
Basically
the
same.
5 years.
All right. Well, yeah, we could go after 5 years too, but I mean, we blow Chicago out of the water and we still have 25 million in available budget. So that's the other thing we want to do, because in my mind, I was like, what are we going to do about shortstop if we're getting rid of our guy, Fletcher? But Tim Anderson, I get he's less exciting than Trey Turner, but we're losing 10 contact versus righties. We're gaining 4 power against lefties, and we're gaining 10 vision and getting a better fielder. So we're losing the 30 speed, but it's not like he's slow. He's no slouch, that's for sure.
Yeah, just to add on to what Ryan said, what actually helped to make up our minds so quickly was we saw how much Trey Turner was being offered by, I believe, the Dodgers, and then went down to Tim Anderson, and we saw his offer, and we're like, what? And if you look at just the dials in the top right, there's not that much of a shift when you switch between Trey Turner and Tim Anderson. So if we can get Tim Anderson at like almost, 5/8 of the rate or something like that, and get a player that's like 7/8 the player, we're getting really good value for Tim Anderson. He's a quality shortstop with the stats in the right places. So I think if we can lock him up for something around this price, it's a very good deal for us going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that's $40 million less over the life of the contract, $8 million less per season for basically a player that is a little slower.
Yeah, that's great. And I think the other thing that's great about this is a lot of our contracts seem to be lined up for 5 years, which again gives us that big window where, in year 4, we can reevaluate all these players and do a huge overhaul of the team to get younger. And keep building this team as needed. So I think we're in a good position with these moves to win now, but we're also in a good position where we know exactly when we have to start looking at the overhaul and see when we want to start moving younger with some of these free agent signings if they choose to sign with us.
Which Judge did not. He accepted immediately the Giants' offer of $208 million over 9 seasons. And Aaron Nola goes to San Diego. Judge, we just saw that. Thank you. 23.2, which was about what we were offering, right? We were offering 25, but for shorter term. It was only 5 years, I believe, we were offering him. So he got the extra 9 years. He's going to be 39 at the end of that deal. Whoo, that's going to be an expensive one. But now that means we have to reevaluate where we want to go in free agency here.
I think Brendan Nimmo might be somewhere just for a couple years as a stopgap.
I almost like Mitch Haniger better. Similar fielders. Yeah, he's not got the speed, but he's got that power.
So you can tell the difference between Ryan. I'm much more of a contact guy. Ryan's more of a power guy. So
they have similar contact versus lefties.
Yeah, I'll give it to you on this one. I think we can go with Mitch Haniger, but I believe Haniger is older as well, so he has more of a possibility of dropping.
Let's see here. Age-wise, Haniger, he's from Cali. But yeah, he does have a little bit higher chance of dropping. But I mean, if we give him 2 years, what, 5.7 per year, 5.6 per year?
That's fine with me, yeah.
That's really cheap. He's an upgrade over Conforto. Damn, I really wanted Aaron Judge, man. I wanted that big splash. Ohtani, Judge, Trout, same team, Los Angeles, rival the Man, that would have been such a great storyline.
That was a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. That was a bummer.
And there's no going out and trading for anybody else. And we've assessed the Joey Gallo situation, and we are not coming to an agreement that he would be a good replacement.
Yeah, no, I again, Mitch Haniger is like a much better version of this, but Joey Gallo just does not come with the consistency I would like. And the problem with someone who has low contact and low vision is that they're really streaky, and on a bad streak, they can get cold and regress real fast.
Hopefully he can bounce back based on what he did last season. It didn't look like good numbers for him in the first simulated season. Now it's the only one simulated season, but 0 WAR and only 66 runs created for those stats. I'd like a little bit better than that, ideally, but I don't know. I might have played in Seattle to start and then went somewhere. I'm not sure. I wish I could see where he went last season, but that doesn't really scare me off too much. I think he's probably the best outfielder left. I mean, he's making way less than Nimmo. Nimmo's making $8 million for 3 years. He's making only 5.7 for 2. So, but we're still in on Benintendi offers here. Nobody. Severino. The Cincinnati Reds are close, but I think he should choose us over the Reds there. Nobody else is close to any of our guys here.
Yeah, I think we want to sim this slowly, maybe a day or two at a time.
That's what I did. I only took it 1 day. I simmed 1 day in Judge. All right, farm director, cool. Not the notification I was waiting for. Signed Walsh, Rutschman, Vivas, Castaneda. Okay, so all these guys signed. Beautiful. All those guys signed. Wow, look at all those signings. Look at all those chickens. Benintendi, Severino, Syndergaard, Anderson, Haniger, Duffy. Yeah, we're still in the number 1 seed here. Nobody's changed their offer. He could take Severino, perhaps. Severino is the only one that really worries me.
Do you want to go up to 100 mil for Severino, maybe?
Offers Severino, make an offer. Make an offer. He cannot refuse, he says. 100 mil over 5 years to be to be a rotation player. That should get it done. And I still think that'll be a good deal in 5. I think he's going to get into the 90s. I think he's one of the players that has an opportunity to touch 90.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, free agency. Nobody has signed yet so far. We'll continue to sim slowly. Kind of going day by day. Anybody offering close to our money? No, not really. Really, there's nobody that's offering close to our money. And we do not have a farm director anymore. Do we have a starting pitcher or two? Benintendi, no. I feel like somebody signed. Somebody definitely down here signed. Was it Taylor? No, I want to say it was Matt Duffy signed. Matt Duffy just signed. All right, so we now need to go and... God, I can't believe we lost out on Judge. I was so excited for Judge, man. Our manager? Oh. We don't have a manager.
Huh. Daryl Boston, actually.
Daryl Boston's not a bad idea. Trying to find those A attribute grades.
+2 bunting. Yeah, I like Boston. I don't like these the +1 bunting, but at this point we're starting to run out of options.
Yeah, right. We're starting to look. Is that Joe Girardi? Yeah, Joe Girardi's an option. No, thank you. -1 speed here for Roger Quevedo. I mean, +3 contact, +2 arm accuracy.
Yeah, I like Daryl Boston with the +3 hits over and the home runs over 9 and the 2 clutch.
There we go.
12.5 over 3. Do we want to even go higher than that, honestly?
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't accept that offer.
Because the last guy didn't accept that offer and the bar was higher?
Well, that's true, but somebody could have outbid us. We didn't actually pay attention. We just assumed.
True.
So I think we'll be okay. We'll keep an eye on it in a day or two. Are you kidding me? Wow.
I was right.
Imagine not wanting to manage the team that just made the World Series and has a ridiculous amount of good players. Crochet, Clase, and Rogers all re-signed, which is fantastic. But now we have to find a manager. Imagine not wanting to manage for this team. I guess Marcus Ryan?
On a 1 or 2 year deal, I don't mind Marcus
Paco
Ryan.
Figueroa?
I think a 1 year deal. Oh, okay. That's fine on a 1 year deal. He's not very good, but he has an A potential, so I think we can sign him on a 1 year deal.
Accept it, damn it.
The bar is full. The bar is full.
Free agency. Okay, so we're still Benintendi, still the number 1 here, but there's a new player in town. We're still the number 1 by quite a bit everywhere.
That's list drop by 1? It's only 5 now, or maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, Mitch Haniger signed.
We signed Haniger. Woo,
beautiful.
Nice.
So 5.6 for 2 years. I love that.
Great.
All right, I didn't want to go another day. I got worried that we might. I don't think anybody's matching us here. I really don't. Yay! Thanks, Paco. Benintendi, let's go.
Yay, that's a big one.
And Severino, let's go. And everybody. Well, was it everybody? Benintendi, Severino. Right there he is. Yeah, Severino. Tim Anderson. Mitch Haniger and Matt Duffy and the big one, Chad Pinder. There we go. Trey Turner still, Joey Gallo's still available.
Oh man, they're not offering him any money. You know what?
Humor me.
On a 1 or 2 year deal. On a 2 year deal. Yeah, honestly, if he's bad, we can just trade him. Why the hell not? Screw it.
Yeah, like he's a DH. Like. No, he's no. What am I? No, he's not a DH. Look at that fielding. What the hell am I saying? We could also go after like Taylor Rogers, as well here.
I'm okay with a reliever for 1 year. Either Rogers or Diaz.
Oof.
That's a lot of money. No thanks.
But we still, I mean, look at even with Joey Gallo's $17 million per year, we have $23 million in available budget, plus we're going to make a trade. Unless you would like to make a trade in a big splash trade and acquire somebody.
Yeah, I want to leave us a little bit of cap space. I want to leave us at least 10-15 mil. But looking into someone to just add to the bullpen for 1 year, like a Kenley Jansen, I don't mind that either.
Yeah, 1 year.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
7.5, not bullpen.
Hold on, it's 1 year. We can lie to them. It's fine.
Oh, you're like the Vegas Golden Knights of baseball.
Exactly.
There we go.
Not resign with us. We weren't going to resign him anyways. He's 35 years old.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I mean, there's Chapman too. Chapman's also Aroldis Chapman. I mean, they're offering him. There's Chad Green.
I think we're okay actually. Looking at our bullpen should be pretty full right now. If we get Jansen,
wow,
I think
sub 3 FIP.
Oh, that is pretty nice actually.
He does want $8 million for 1 year, but like,
I'd almost want to do one or the other. If we're doing Chad Green, we shouldn't be doing
Kenley Jansen's better and is cheaper. So case closed.
Yeah.
Take a look at
our bullpen already has kind of the 3 studs we're getting paid in the terms of like Tyler Rogers, Clase, and Crochet. Even if they're not getting paid now, they're going to start getting paid eventually. So I'd rather not commit to like Chad Green.
I would love to get Taylor Rogers just because we already have Tyler Rogers, just to make it extra confusing.
What a great pitcher Rogers is. But Rogers blew it.
T. Rogers.
T. Rogers.
Correction, it's T. Rod. Yeah, I feel like, the one more guy, I feel like that makes sense. So we're good. We're good there.
Yep.
All right, so let's go ahead and advance a day or two, shall we?
Yes.
Yes, stop simulating. Players we could lose in the 40-man. We have 45 players on the 40-man. We should probably get rid of Andrew once.
Yep.
Remove from 40-man. We're going to have to do this anyway. Jason Junk.
He's junk, so he can get out of here.
Jamie Barrea. Or do you want to get Jimmy Hegret, who's 29 B potential?
Yeah, let's get rid of Hegret.
All right, we'll get rid of him. Then Monte Harrison, I guess.
Yeah.
Just because they're older. Jack Mayfield, probably not, but maybe a guy like Virgil Davino.
Honestly, sure. Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
This is the last guy to remove, by the way. We only have one more guy to remove. So maybe Hunter Brown?
No, he has
He's not eligible for the Rule 5 draft anyway.
Oh, but no, he's on waivers.
No, he doesn't have to clear waivers to remove from the 40-man.
I thought you have to go through waivers to remove from the 40-man, no?
Certain players, yes, if they're of a certain age, but there are no waivers right now.
No.
There might be, but nobody's on the waiver wire. See? It would warn us. It would warn us. We're good.
Huh. Okay, I'll remember that for... I've been fearing this for... see, I'll know this for next year now. That's good to know.
Free agency. Joey Gallo and Kenley Jansen are still options for us. We're still the number one by a long shot. And then calendar. Oh, okay. Cool. They claim Monte Harrison. He got whatever. No, don't stop simulating. Kenley Jansen signs with us. Beautiful.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, we lost Monte Harrison. He's a 27-60. Yeah, I'm not upset about that, but I swear it would have warned us. It should have warned us.
I thought it did. That's why I was kind of alarmed.
Oh, did it warn me? I just must have just brushed over it. Anyway, we are ready for the Rule 5 draft. We have to go fix our 40-man. 40-man. Who do we want to get rid of? Swaggerty?
No, with the B potential, I'd rather not.
He's got not eligible for the Rule 5 draft.
Yes, but again, I don't want to give them the free claim.
Well, then Jamie Barria, not eligible, 26-68.
Okay, I guess we can try him.
Virgil Davino. I mean, I'd rather do Jamie Barria.
Okay.
Yeah. See, he would need to pass through waivers. Swaggerty would need to pass through irrevocable waivers. Do we need to remove?
Everyone does, Rye. I think everyone does.
Shoot. All right. Well, I'd rather just give up on Jamie Barria then.
Okay.
Unless you think.
Let's do Barria.
I'm still torn between. I think Virgil Davino has got less upside. Like Jamie Barria looks well-rounded enough that maybe he could be something with the C potential. I think Virgil Davino is not going to be any. He's got D potential and he's already exceeding his potential.
My only worry is we just took off a center fielder, so I don't know how many center fielders we have left on center fielders we have left on the 40-man now.
3. Yeah. Swaggerty, Davino, and Trout. Plus, when we sign another outfielder, we'll be okay, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Taylor Ward. We want to get rid of him anyway. He doesn't have a contract.
That's fine, yeah.
We lose him for nothing. We lose him for nothing because he's... Cool. Okay. Advance a day. All right. Free agency, Joey Gallo still is off. Yeah, he's taking our offer. I'm not. I got worried there for a second. I'm still worried. I'm no longer
Hey.
worried. There he is. Let's go. All right, and
Well,
now... Whew,
I was going to say he can thank Aaron Judge for that payday.
yeah, he really can. He can text him and be like, yo, thank you for that, because that really helped a lot. All right, so we are good to go to the Rule 5 draft. No, don't stop simulating. Eovaldi goes to the Phillies. And we will get to the winter meetings. The Rule 5 draft is in 2 days. And here we go. Rule 5 draft time, baby. Go to draft. We've got the 27th pick. Would you look at that? Wow. A lot of players getting taken. I don't recognize any of these names, though. Dom T. Williams, I do. He was one of ours.
Oh, yeah. Rip.
I guess he was eligible. I thought we put him on the 40-man, though. We didn't have Tony Walters. There's Taylor Ward. He's gone to the Nationals, but we didn't want him back anyway.
Yeah.
So we did lose 2 players, I believe, but I thought we handled that fine.
That is unfortunate, but
Oh, well. Pick a player. Kirby Yates?
I don't really want to put him on the roster, to be honest.
You don't want an 81 overall relief pitcher with A potential?
Well, the thing is, he might drop. I know the A potential is nice, but he is 36 years of age, and we already have a full bullpen full of guys who are going to grow, right?
They recommend we take Alex Young. I'm going to recommend
no.
that they think about that before they speak again.
Of everyone here, I agree Kirby Yates is the most appealing.
That's a really interesting player to take. It's a free $4.4 million closer. I mean, relief pitcher, right? We just paid Kenley Jansen 7.5.
My thing is, right, I don't know if he's going to fit. Kirby Yates is also 4 overall, lower than Kenley Jansen, and a year older, right? So I don't mind taking him.
But he could replace Victor Arano.
Yeah, we could shove Arano in AAA, I guess.
Or keep Hoyt Taylor down in AAA.
Yeah, okay, we can take Kirby Yates.
I think it just kind of makes sense to take. This is a guy we will need, right? So draft Kirby Yates. Awesome. Keen Wong, not our player. And I'm going to skip the selection, and there we go. Hayden Wesneski. Come on. Thank you. All right.
He's going freaking bargain diving. Dumpster diving.
Yeah, and Victor Arano wanted like 1 point something million. He still hasn't gone through arbitration. Like, come on. Patrick Sandoval is still a free agent. Did we move on from Sandoval?
I don't remember us making that decision.
I don't think we did.
Oh my God.
We have to offer him a contract now.
Yes, now. Holy crap, how did that happen?
I don't know.
For some reason, they're offering him peanuts on the dollar. 4 years looks good to me.
4 years at 3.2 per season. It says his ideal salary is $30,000. All right, when is it going to start dropping off? There it is.
11.5 looks good to me. Yeah. Oh my God.
What is that? What is happening?
Man, they want a freaking bargain, bro. They're not even trying to pay $1 million a year for him.
They're actually thinking like, I almost want to just, I don't know, pay him $2 million a season because it's better than everybody else.
Let's make sure it's still green, but yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, 10.1. We can do 10.1. If he signs with us, this is going to be hilarious because we just saved an ass load of money.
We were going to pay him so much more than that. Like, what happened? I swear, I'm going to go back when I edit this. I'm going to figure out what happened. Editing RyeSquad here, and you guys can see a screenshot from about 24 minutes in the episode. We did offer him a 19/4, but my guess is he turned that down and didn't accept it for whatever reason, wanted to test free agency, and we didn't offer him arbitration, so we weren't locked in. We did end up saving money, though, so that was a good thing.
Yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, there we go. Okay. Interesting.
Well, I'm glad we didn't just lose him.
I'm glad well, he popped up as like the number 3 guy on this list here. I'm like, Sandoval, didn't I offer him a contract?
Yeah.
Jeez, we're still the number one by a long. If he accepts somebody else's offer, I'm gonna quit. Three days at a time. Anthony Rizzo gets traded to the Giants.
Ooh.
And the Yankees acquire. Oh, wow. The Yankees are cleaning house. They lose Gallo. They lose Judge. They trade Rizzo. They lose Severino. Yeah, they're cleaning house.
This sounds like a rebuild if I've ever seen one.
Sandoval still hasn't accepted our offer. We should probably
Well,
get
buddy.
into trade. We don't need to get in trade talks yet.
I think we can save that for next time.
Yeah, we can talk about it. We can at least look. Sandoval, come
Come
home.
on, buddy.
Yay!
Yay!
And we saved
Oh
so
my
much
God.
money.
What a steal.
What happened?
I don't know, bro. I guess everyone thinks he's going to regress hard, so they just won't give him even $1 million a year. Wow.
I mean, we have 10 million in surplus. I think the 5 million also includes our current money.
Mm-hmm.
Budget. Yeah, I think the threshold is 210. Oh, the competitive balance tax, is that going to hit us? Or is the threshold only for player salaries and we're 2 million underneath the tax threshold?
I'm not sure.
Interesting. Awesome though. Matt, we do need to worry about Matt Chapman and let's look at overalls, right? Matt Chapman's really the only guy and he's on thin ice.
Oh, yeah.
He's on thin ice after his postseason performance, so you better put up another great regular season. After that, it's Kenley Jansen, which we don't have to worry too much about. And then Kirby Yates, don't have to worry. Yeah, Hannock, no, right? Rutschman is renewable, though, and yeah, he's going to be cheap, right? So we really are in a great position considering we have another $40 million next season. Look at that. Just to reach our current salary, we'd have to put up another $40 million.
Yeah, no, we're in very good positioning here, and I think this is a great year, especially when it gets to trade deadline time. We have a lot of contracts like Conforto and Apina who are expiring, who I think, while not the most valuable pieces on their own, when packaged together can really help us get some steals at the deadline. And along with the team we've already built that honestly looks great, I think we have a real shot to get back to the World Series this year.
I think we're going to look fantastic. And we've got clear guys. It says we're over by 3 on the, MLB up there. Vivas, Torkelson, Marsh, can all get sent down. Then, we need to sign some minor league third base, and we'll do that the next time. We need to sign or change some positions. I'm going to make Urias a bona fide second baseman who can play third base. I think this is going to be easier for me mentally to look at the trade talks and say, oh no, what about second base, right? Unless if I just put him in there in the lineup right now. Second base, no. Matt Duffy's not DH, no. Okay, what? I don't know what's going on. But we want Urias at second. There we go. Does that change the trade talks? No, it doesn't. So unless I have to do it everywhere, in that case, I don't feel like doing that. Just to get some stupid green saying we're not as bad as we are. I'm going to actually do it anyway. Screw it. There we go. Does that change it? MLB The Show says no. All right, so that's fine. Whatever. We'll also have to change one of our outfielders from left to right field. We got Gallo and Benintendi. I'd like Gallo probably in right because of the ridiculous arm. He can play right, center, first, third. So we'll just have to flip-flop that, but that's no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, ridiculously successful episode. I think we have way too many outfielders, and I think we have not enough third basemen.
Yeah, we'll definitely sign some minor leaguers, like you said, for third base. But I'm excited. I know Ryan's big on power, and we've brought in a couple of power outfielders in the forms of Hanniger and Joey Gallo. So let's see if power really is the way to go.
I mean, look at that. We got Ohtani, Gallo, Trout, Hanniger, even Walsh, all guys with above 80. And then Chapman, Conforto, Chad Rocker, okay, with above 77, 79, right? These guys all have, the power is there on this team. Ohtani, Gallo, Chapman, Walsh. I mean, against lefties, it's not quite as good, but we finally have somebody else other than Ohtani that can bomb against lefties in a guy like Joey Gallo.
Yeah.
Ignore that 22 vision. He's got 20/20 vision, man. Ignore that.
20, even better than 20/20. He's got 22/22 vision.
Yeah, right. But guys, that is where we're going to end it. I know we're not quite to the end of the arbitration hearings, but we've already been recording for over an hour, and we want to value your guys' time and make this entertaining at the same time. So that's where we're going to cut it short. I may negotiate with Victor Arano in a dark lit basement and negotiate down to that 900,000, but we will see how that goes. That's all the time we have, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see some more, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
It's a free for all, free for all. What we